you know, a lot of the meetings talk about separation, but there is no separation. There's nothing to be separate already. There's nothing separate, even if it feels like it. Theo, some of you may have heard of Theo. I posted one of his quotes. He said, there is no separation. There just fucking isn't.
Could I say something?
Yes, but go right ahead. Well, you're going to have to speak up because I can't hear you.
I hear you.
I didn't hear him.
I hear him.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
Nothing.
So this isn't trying to get anywhere. Ah, is that my Zoom bomber? All right. So this isn't trying to, there's just nowhere to get. I mean, look now. Where have you gotten, regardless of the body's age? So everything doesn't move. It's not becoming a better everything, a new and improved everything. So even the seeker is this. Already. It's just that there's no rules to wholeness. So wholeness can look like cancer. Wholeness can look like death. Wholeness can look like fear. So all those emotions are wholeness, however they're showing up. the most vile, disgusting thought that you've ever had was wholeness. Wasn't you. So there's no one there to get this. No one there that can know this. So for me, it was actually somebody made a comment on YouTube where she said she really loved these meetings, meaning these meetings, exactly that's what we're doing, our non-dual Zoom meetings. And she used a word. And as soon as I read it, I said, bingo. She said there was a sense of inclusiveness, a sense of inclusiveness in Nkosi's message that she hadn't really heard exactly that way before. And that really struck a bell with me. I go, Nkosi was the first, and again, I've had the privilege of watching Alice and Nkosi work so intimately in their privates. And it dawned on me that it wasn't that he wasn't judging her. I realized he wasn't capable of judging her. And I think that's your report, Alice. When you've sat with Nkosi, you don't feel judged at all.
That's right. I know. It's just an incredible feeling, and going to see him now every week. I know he won't judge me, and I have freedom to bring up whatever I want to bring up. And it's only met with love, and it's beautiful.
So this is an open meeting, meaning everybody's invited to participate. So if you have a comment or question, please feel free to unmute and jump in.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
Do you have a comment or question?
Oh, no, I'm
Gwen?
sorry. No. I was wondering that though.
Oh, I see. You're wondering if you could.
Yeah,
I
if
see,
it
you
was
didn't
like a
actually-
free to speak
Oh.
sort of thing, or
Oh,
a
okay.
hand raising situation.
I love the pause because you really hooked me there because I thought you were really pausing to say, I was waiting.
Oh, you thought I was like being dramatic? No.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I didn't have any epic quote to say or anything.
I just wanted to make a comment that the last YouTube of Nkosi and myself from Saturday night was seeing that was the closest I've ever gotten to seeing that there couldn't possibly be a separation. The questioning and everything is this. He continued to take everything back, and it became clear at those moments, even after the session, about seeing that there could never be any separation,
Yeah.
and that he really lived from that place. And actually, I do too. It doesn't manifest the way his does.
Yeah, and that was what, when Nkosi first commented, I've said this before, his comment, I don't know, 10 months ago when we first met him, was whether there's a sense of being a me or not, doesn't matter to this. And that was so freeing because in non-duality, it can seem like the me is the bad guy. And as long as you still fight like a me, you're not there. And then, there was something about in Nkosi's "it doesn't matter" that just resonated here. I was like, yeah.
I mean, there's so many different possible thoughts and whatnot that can emerge. Like, who wants to be the one that has to own all of that?
I had a question, kind of comment. So I've been watching a lot of Jim Newman, and it feels like, from the seeker's perspective, the fundamental question is, how do we get this thing that's not really there to go away? And the answer seems to always be like, well, it's not even there. But I think they were questioning Jim quite a bit, and then I think eventually he said, well, it's just random, like, to the question, like, how does it actually happen? And he kept saying, well, it's just random. And for me, it's hard for me to grasp the randomness of it, because it's so rare, even though spiritual awakening doesn't really happen to anyone. But if you looked at it from a linear perspective, it's extremely rare for the individual. And it's like it seems that there are only seekers, supposed alleged seekers, I guess you should say, that it allegedly happens to. And so you don't see, like, the bank robber or the axe murderer, the alleged self doesn't seem to fall away, you know what I mean, for those people, the alleged people. So I don't know, I've always just kind of wondered that.
Yeah. So the message here is that all there is this: showing up as the bank robber, as the policeman, as Matt asking a question, as Michael responding, as the walls, as the Zoom meeting, as the voice. Everything is this already. So there's already not a me there. It doesn't matter if it feels like it. If it feels like it, then that's what's arising. So what? Right? Think about it. Who gives a shit if the me's there or not except the me? And I love God's plan comment earlier about owning all those thoughts. Oh my God.
Yeah, and we start to feel the weight of it. And it's like, we just have to let it go.
That's it. Yeah. So that's, where's Matt? Yeah, Matt. It's, you get to the point where someone could put a gun to your head to hold on to another thought as real, like cling to it. And you're like, pull the trigger. I just can't.
Yeah, and it can get really deep and even dark too, like you just said.
Yeah.
The other thing, Matt, is that like you just asked a very clear, linear, logical question. But the thing is, what we're talking about has nothing to do with anything linear or logical or any kind of thing that, so if you got the answer, because it sounded like a very, very clear, concise question, very rational, logical question. But even if there was an answer that anybody could give you, it wouldn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah. So in a way, you're just kind of seeing the dilemma of that's just the me. That's like the me in doing its thing, asking, like, yeah, but what, but what's the key to this? And why,
How do I destroy myself?
yeah.
The key is that there is no key.
It's already, the key is whatever's already here. But the me energy can't deal with that because the me is already trying to get it, right? Trying to figure it out. So anyway.
Thank you.
I was thinking if
Thanks for nothing.
thoughts, oh, sorry, there's the words random and linear coming up. And if thoughts are random, why do we always feel things are moving along in a linear way? I use the word we, I mean, I should say I. Or that's what seems to be happening.
I'll take that on. It's not that thoughts are random. Thoughts actually are very ordered in a certain way. I mean, that's why we can have, all kinds of knowledge about what's appearing. We can have cause and effect. And so that's not random. The appearance isn't random, but it's the fact that the appearance is appearing in the first place is completely random. In other words, what's really, really happening is completely random. In other words, random just means there's nothing to understand about it. It's not understandable. It can't be put into any kind of a format of anything to be understood. So, the appearance, we can find order in the appearance. So I don't know if that was clear.
Yeah, well, something seems to be linear such that we come up with this idea of a story.
Right. So our language has order to it. Otherwise it wouldn't be language, right? Words make sense when they're put in a certain order. It all adds up. But the point is, none of that adds up to anything. It doesn't it makes sense within the story, but the story itself is random. And that's what we're talking about, because what actually is not being ordered. It's not being arranged into anything. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody help me here.
Yeah, well, so that story just gets extrapolated into everything, the entire construct.
But there's no one here means there's no one looking at the story, and there's no one that the story is about. So the story doesn't actually apply to anything. And that's what's random. Because there's nothing you can do with that. There's nothing you can't put it into any form. Go ahead.
There's nothing you can gain from it.
Yeah.
And I think that what Matt asked is, I'm not sure, but is there anything in the story that can bring to realization or liberation? But whatever the story, it doesn't get you anywhere. So that's why they never share or rarely share the story, because it doesn't mean anything. And for, you think that only the seekers that find liberation, but apparently there are some, like people in prison, apparently it happens sometimes that people just have liberation for no apparent reason. There's no reason anyway to anything. It's like the dream at night. When you are in the dream at night, it seems to be real, but it all go nowhere when you wake up in the morning. So and the story, we all the time reconstruct the story to make some coherence, to make it coherent. My English is poor, I'm sorry. But we have to put everything in order, we all the time rearrange the story to make something with it. But I think, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
I think that when we talk about the story or the dream or whatever words that we tend to use, and then there's the mind tends to, or the me energy tends to want to solve the problem. I got to get rid of the story, the me, whatever. But even the me energy, if we use it, that's this too. Even the me is this. And if it's sort of seen with a capital S that way, there's no problem. There's no issue. There's nothing. It's done, if I could even use that word. That's the way I kind of look at it, because the me energy, which we sort of implies, or some people imply, I don't mean we, but there's an implication that it's bad, that it got to do something about it. But the me is, the way I look at it, the me is also this. It's all one energy. It's boundless energy. So when it feels like, quote unquote, you're not there, or you get those ideas, that's it too. It's just, that's why there's nothing to even do, because whatever shows up is it.
It's the inclusivity. It's all included.
Maximum, yes, to the absolute maximum inclusivity, so that that's why the seeking, I think, comes to an end, because whatever shows up, even the thought, I'm unenlightened, I'll never make it, only a few got it, I didn't, all those thoughts, that's it too. That's this showing up as that. And so once the inclusivity is seen, not just thought of it, well, whatever, it's complete. There's nowhere to go and nothing to do. And so then the me is no longer an issue, because even the idea of separation, well, even that is, even the sense of separation is this. Nothing more to be said.
And even if it was an issue, it isn't an issue because the issue is included already as well.
Yes, I think, yes. It's no matter what, it's this. So you can't, it's so boundless that there's no way, there's nothing else but that's it. So once it's sort of seen, quote unquote, then it's
voila.
Everything is it. And even the feeling that, even if you say, well, it's only conceptual and you're not really experienced, whatever shows up, even the concepts, even the feeling, well, I get it intellectually, but I'm not feeling it. Well, that's it too. And it just works.
Hi, Nkosi, welcome.
Hello, Michael. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Nkosi.
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, you got
That's a pretty good one. That was pretty good for a Zoom bomb. That was
That was
he
beautiful.
was he on a Ferris wheel?
Yeah, it looked like.
That was good. Now there's some effort. That's
People
what I
have all
want.
fun.
In my Zoom bombs, I want to see some creativity. So all is that, even the Zoom bomber.
Yes.
Zoom bomber is this too. Yeah, I have to say, Nkosi, you had a line that you had said to Alice, maybe you could comment on it. You said, the one who wants to know this is already not there.
Yeah, it's just an imagination that seems to appear in this. And it's also this. So
Yeah,
there
and
is already
Nkosi, I
no
have
one
a
who
question.
wants-
Yeah, and Nkosi, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah. Why do I love me so much?
There's no you to love you. It's just this. There's already no you there. It's just wholeness expressing as that. So there are just thoughts appearing, saying a lot of things, but they don't matter because all there is this. So it doesn't matter what seems to be happening because everything that seems to happen is already this, and it's perfect and whole and complete. So there's really nothing to do here. So the one that I've been speaking to right now is already wholeness. And this is wholeness speaking as well. So there's no separation. This doesn't see an individual. This doesn't see a separate person because it doesn't exist. So there's no right or wrong to this. Everything is just beautiful, just the way it is. What seems to be a separate you doing things is just a dream appearing in this. And no one is dreaming. So what seems to be a separate person, it may seem as if it's going somewhere to achieve a certain goal. But as a matter of fact, it's going nowhere because it doesn't really exist. That's an imagination appearing in this. This doesn't move. This is going nowhere. What's appearing is already whole and complete. It is wholeness appearing. So I can say there are no objects. There's no time. There's no space. There are no human beings. There's no one. There's no meeting. There's no one who's doing anything. Nothing is happening. It's just wholeness appearing. No one has ever said anything. No one has ever done anything. And no one is doing anything already. This doesn't say a separate person talking. This says itself. There's no one here already. So all what is being said is okay. It's okay. Because there's nothing wrong or right with anything. It doesn't matter which shape or form it may appear to be. It's just this. There must be something other than this. It's a thought that seems to appear in this. It's just this, sitting on the chair, watching the screen, thoughts appearing, saying, there are people in the meeting, I'm in the meeting. Those are just thoughts appearing in this as this. There's nothing wrong or right with anything. Already. No words can describe this. No one can know this and become this. No one can know this and become this. Because all there is this. So there's no one who knows anything here. This doesn't know anything. Talking is happening, thinking is happening, laughter is happening, confusion is happening, and it's not happening to anyone. It's just what seems to be happening. So there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Every thought, every feeling, every sensation is already not separate from this. So there's nothing to do here. There's nowhere to go. Whatever thought or question that may seem to arise, it's okay. Because it doesn't come from anyone. It's just what seems to be arising in this.
Hey, are there, how do I put this? Do preferences still arise? Like, do you have a quote unquote preference for good things and bad things?
Yeah, they do arise, but they arise from nothing. They don't arise from a certain individual or somebody here, because there's no one here, and they don't matter. This doesn't mind what's arising. Doesn't mind, because there's no individual that seems to arise from. It's just nothing here. And what seems to be arising is also this. So it doesn't matter. It's okay. Everything is okay.
Everything is okay even when it appears not to be okay.
Yes. Everything is already nothing. A thought that says there must be something other than this. That's it too. That's this already. So nothing is separate from this. There's no separation here. Even what seems to be a separation is already this, appearing as that.
It's almost as if there's nothing to be said.
That may seem to happen, but no one is saying anything. There is no individual who has ever said anything here. What is being said is just wholeness appearing. It's wholeness saying it, not a separate person or somebody who's seeking this. I thought that says,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead, Nkosi.
I thought that says, I've got it and I don't get it. Doesn't really matter. Because all there is this. There's already no one to get or not get anything here. It's just this.
And so seeking cannot veil this because the seeking is already this.
Yeah, seeking is already this. What seems to be a recognition may seem to happen, but no one will be recognizing that all there is this. It's just this recognizing itself. That may happen, but it's not happening to anyone. There can never be a separate individual who recognizes that all there is this. It's just this recognizing itself, that it has never been an individual. It has never been a human being. So what seems to be a separate person or an individual is a dream appearing in this. It's thought-based, and it's also this.
So
Yeah, that's what's.
yeah, I was just gonna say.
Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Thanks,
Yeah.
thank you, Nkosi. I was just gonna say, Matt, so trying to figure this out and not trying to figure this out are equally this. So you can't go wrong.
There is no darkness too big for this. There is
Arvin,
no pain too deep. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just
All
telling
I said
Arvin
was,
that he was
oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
I was just one. Yeah, we wanted to tell Harvey I couldn't hear what you were saying. Harvey, I think we can't hear. There's no. I can't hear you.
How about now?
Ah, very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something was muted here. I was asking, is it really, if we were to say the dream is in this, is it really more in a way accurate to say it's as this instead of in this? In other words, the this is appearing as the dream or as the confusion or as the chair. Because when I think of in this, it seems like it's almost, it's sort of in language implies a separation or it's part of, but I don't think it's part of, it's, to me, it's as. But just, I wanted to get your own thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's appearing in this as this. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to talk about because the language itself is dualistic, right? So as soon as you start talking, you're going to get into duality very quickly.
It's like the moment you try to go one direction, you automatically go the other direction. Honestly, it's like such a paradox.
Does the desire to raise the bodily frequency still arise in you, Michael or Nkosi?
Go ahead, Nkosi.
Yeah, okay. Here it doesn't arise.
Doesn't.
It doesn't.
So here, there's just whatever's happening.
So there's so the desire could appear, but it just hasn't.
Well, anything, yeah, anything can
Okay.
appear. There can be there can be a loss of caring one way or the other. One's clarity and confusion are equally this. So it's no advantage. The me thinks that clarity is an advantage and better than confusion. It's not. Any last? Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Trying
go
to
ahead.
have clarity is the denial of what is already there.
Hmm. Hmm. That's fun. Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
Just complimenting you, Michael, for how with the elegance with which you handled the bombers.
Thank you, Peter.
You quickly just, it was a very smooth experience.
Thank you. Well, right back at you, because the way you tell me to press record, I don't know that many could do it as beautifully. So. Thank you guys, everyone.
Thank you.
So much for coming.
Thank
Each
you
and every
so
one of
much.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Nkosi, so much.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Nkosi.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Good night.
Mhm.